What's up, and welcome to another episode. Master Moats film session, and you know we talking about Robert Spillane today. Now, he obviously was a guest on the podcast this week. If you have not had a chance to check out that interview, please go check it out because my man was dope as always, man. Good friend of the show, man. This is a dope dude in person as well. But let's talk about this thing, man. All right. That's Spillane right there in the middle. The camera's kind of blocking him, but you got him circled up right there. We'll play it in full speed, and after that, we'll break it down. Y'all already know the drill, though, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and notification bell if you have not done so already. Oh man. All right. So let's talk about what we have transpiring here. Clearly, stills are bringing a pressure, but the thing that I like is this: for Spillane, he is in man-to-man coverage, one-on-one with Isaiah Likely, number 80. We talk about Spillane and some of the things that he quote-unquote struggles with is coverage, but because he is so detailed in his work, this is why they trust him in some of the most critical situations. This is red zone, situational football right here. It gets no bigger than these type of moments, right? So with that, though, the thing I like is this, man. Because he understands his assignment, he's catching a peek, but he's not giving it away because he wants to give the illusion, in terms of Rob Spillane, that he is still blitzing, that he is going to be blitzing either on this side or that side of number 64. Even though, once again, he's in coverage. But that's the little nuance, right? So now, as the play gets ready to start, let's watch how he stems it. He even gives you a hard jab step into that A gap. And why is he doing that? He's trying to clear it up for his brother Cam Hayward, who's trying to come off of this backside. And then you got Highsmith coming over there as well, okay? So that's the first part of this. Even though he still is in coverage now, he jab steps because he wants to help his brother out. But then from there, this is the beautiful thing. And this is a great call by the Baltimore Ravens. When you have a blitz dialed up, man, if you can catch a team with a screen pass, this is awesome. Now, we're trying to simulate this a little bit. And I think part of that's because Minka is reading out of it. And that's just one of them things. Like, I don't know if he's reading out of it or if he just saw it and was like, you know what, man, I don't really want to do this. Like, I don't know what that dynamic was right there for Minka. I'm going to just trust his instinct to say, man, he just saw it and started to make a play. But either way, Spillane did what? Because he's identifying that this is his work, he knows I have to get there now and right now. And from there, avoid that stiff arm because it's super weak. And then from there, man, go get you a TFL on a screen pass. That is what this guy is doing right now, man, in the sense of just play recognition, understanding the strengths and weaknesses of this defense and of his assignment. Because right now, yeah, it's easy to panic, especially in the red zone, and say, man, I can't jab step. I got to get over here because of this distance. Remember, Spillane isn't the most athletic, or at least that's what people say. But right here, what is he showing you? Smart as heck, detailed, and athletic enough to do this because he understands when he has to have that burst, when he needs to close that ground. And this is what you want to see right here, man. Just making a big time play in the red zone right there, man. Nice job. But once again, man, full speed. Boom. Set him up. Clear it up for your friends. Now going to be a playmaker. Let's go. But hold on. You know there's more, baby. You know there is more. All right, so you know if we're going to talk Spillane, I got to talk about his bread and butter because, I mean, that first play, that's not even what he likes to do. I mean, he does the coverage thing, but this dude gets downhill and plays that run. So, let's talk about that, baby. Let's talk about it. That's 41. Spillane right there. I played in full speed. After that, I'm going to break it down. Let's get it, baby. All right. So first things first, if you haven't checked out that Mark Robinson the film session, definitely check that out because you'll laugh when you hear me about to laugh at myself. So you see 98, DeMarvin Leal, he's getting up and moving again. And I was asking myself, like, man, when I was doing the Mark Robinson film session, I was like, yo, I don't know why he was getting up on this particular play, running over, but here he is doing it again. I figured it out, ladies and gents, okay? He was going to go to wherever that tight end was. It didn't matter if it was an offensive lineman as a tight end or if it was actually the tight end. If that tight end lined up by the sideline, he was going to go out there. If he moved anywhere in the field, he was going to follow him. And that's what they were doing with DeMarvin. So shout out to that right there. And shout out to me just, talking over this session about another session to talk back about this session because that's how we do. All right. So now back to the party. All right. So with Robert Spillane, as we can see some of the pre-snap communication here, right? Beforehand, he's talking because he's calling out the motion, letting the team know, yo, we got motion. But You don't really have a lot of passing strength flipping just because of the wide receiver sets. But he understands that the front has to shift, which is fine. Now you also have him doing what? Because of the film session, he understands, or his film study, he understands that, hey, I got action out here, and certain things that this team likes to do out of this formation would make him believe that this ball was going to come out this direction. So what do we get? We even get them trying to influence it. Shout out to Robert Spillane with the film session right there, man, with just his studying of tape. Because that's all the stuff that we're talking about right there pre-snap. And everything is holding true, because what do you get? You got Ricard, fast flow. You even got them giving you run action that is going to be outside zone. You're even getting what? A puller. So everything is telling you what? That this ball is coming out here. The only thing that could keep that ball from coming out here is what? The QB keeper, right? The QB draw, because that is something that Baltimore runs, or we call it the zone read, okay? Whatever you want to label it as, that's what they're trying to get done right here. And this is the beautiful part. For Robert Spillane, he understands that. He reads his keys. So once he saw puller, once he saw fast flow, once he understood his tendencies from film sessions or film study, and that told him the ball would be out here, he didn't feel like he needed to be in a hurry, because you're already good. You already have good leverage outside in on the ball right here. But what he doesn't even realize he's doing by being fundamental is he's not allowing this defender, or this guy right here who's the offensive receiver who's in the slot, to come in and try to cut off him or block him, all right? Because that's what his job is. He's supposed to be blocking Spillane, so 2 has an easier hole to run through. But Spillane being in perfect position along with perfect pad level, that's what keeps him up right here. That's why he doesn't fall from the outside in hit, and now he's able to maintain perfect level, or perfect leverage, stay low, and make a beautiful form tackle in the hole one-on-one. And let's be real, man, you could make it a questionable call of if the hit from 89 outside in on Spillane was even clean or not. But the thing that I love is this, man, because he's fundamentally sound, because he's reading his keys, he's trusting his film preparation, it puts him in position to make this play, and he makes it in the red zone, baby. This is beautiful ball, baby. This is beautiful ball. Beautiful ball. But we know this is a Robert Spillane call. He stamps this. This is definitely what he does. But you know I got one more play, baby. So let's go to it. All right, now this last play just shows Spillane once again in coverage, but doing a little bit of zone concepts right here, all right? So as we do, that's Spillane right there, middle of the field. Play it in full speed. After that, I'll break it down for you. Good old Robert Spillane. Let's go. Alrighty. So, coverage-wise, the Steelers are playing a Tampa 2 coverage. What is Tampa 2? KZ's going to be over here in the deep half. Mika's over here in the deep half. Spillane is your middle runner, responsible for anything in between those two safeties. But at the same time, if it's, 30 yards downfield, that's where the safeties have to stay on top of this thing. Squat corner out here, okay? Then let's see over here, squat corner, all right? This should be vertical hook defenders. That's Mollett and Edmonds right here. Everyone else is in the rush, okay? So that's the defense, Tampa 2. But what are they showing right now? We don't see middle of the field open. In fact, we have a guy in the middle of the field. So what the Steelers are showing disguise-wise, and this is Minka Fitzpatrick in the box, they're showing you the illusion of cover 1 or cover 3. Beautiful, right? In terms of disguising, pre-snap versus post-snap. So how does the thing play out then? All right, let's get it. So with it being the Tampa 2, but this is the cover 1 disguise they're giving us, Spillane knows right now that his work as a middle runner, you're opening up to number 3 in terms of the number 3 receiver, or if it's 2x2, you're opening up to the speedier of those number 2 receivers, okay? So that's the thought process. So right now he has 1, 2, and 3 receivers over here, right? So he doesn't have to worry about opening over here because there's only one guy behind him. He's not going to open that direction, okay? So that's the coaching point in terms of why Spillane opens up to his left, all right? Because you got the 3 receivers over here. Next thing is this. He sees 1, 2, and 3 coming off the line. Right now, has anybody settled down? No. So for Spillane, he has to stay on top of this because he doesn't know if these guys are going to all go vertical or not. But a part of his responsibility as the middle runner is to make sure that Tyler Huntley can't hit any throws in the middle of this field, okay? That's his responsibility right now. So it becomes a barricade, right? You got Edmonds, who's going to be on the outside. Milet on the outside. This is going to be all Spillane's responsibility right there. We said over here and over here, that's where your safeties are going to take care of you, from the defensive perspective. So Spillane understands that, but he has big vision. You see his helmet stripe. He's eyeing these three guys, still can see the quarterback, but he's not jumping on anything because it's not man-to-man. It's his own concept, okay? So as he stays on top of this thing, stays middle of the field, he's starting to settle a little bit. And why is he doing that? Because he's starting to see these routes settle a little bit. He understands now that these guys aren't all going vertical, but let's make sure that nothing is breaking into this portion of the field, right? Because he knows he still has safeties over top of him on the outside, high. But he knows it's also going to be a difficult throw for Tyler Huntley to try to put this ball right here if Minkah is where he's supposed to be, which he is. So that's where you start to see him settle a little bit. But now he notices what? 89 ain't coming in here. So he keeps doing what? Keeping depth because he still can feel Isaiah Likely, this tight end right here. Even though he knows he has a safety over here, he just wants to keep maintaining body position because while he does this, who do you think the quarterback is trying to throw to? Initially, he's trying to hit Mark or Isaiah in this middle portion. Now when Mark goes over here, it gets too cloudy. You still got body position by Milet. You still have Levi Wallace over here, and you still have Minkah over top. So it takes a lot of accuracy to go over Milet, but then shallow enough for Mark to catch it. The next throw is this one. But who is in position to make a play? If Huntley puts that ball in the middle of this field, this is an interception. Now, granted, part of the weakness of this defense is also what? If the play is able to get extended extremely long, you have a quarterback like a Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, those type of elite caliber guys, they are capable of throwing that dagger all the way down here. Tyler Huntley, no disrespect to him, but he is not one of those type of quarterbacks. Otherwise, you wouldn't see Minkah or KZ playing as close up as they are in this situation. They would have a little bit more depth as well, okay? But that's just one of the potential weaknesses of the Tampa 2. But on this particular play right here, you don't have to worry about that. And Spillane does an excellent job, man, of taking care of his work. And then from there, man, just getting ready to fall back in on this thing if the play were to spit from a missed tackle. But as a whole, man, excellent job by Spillane. And this is why they keep him on the field in coverage situations. Because he can execute the concepts that they need him to do in terms of some of the zone stuff. When it's man-to-man, he's going to attack his work in a hurry. But he knows the difference of man versus zone and the strengths and weaknesses of these defenses. So once again, man, shout out to Robert Spillane, for coming on the show earlier this week. But obviously all the work that he's been doing this season, man, because he's one of those guys that has really had to put in a ton of work to get himself to this level. And it's dope to see, him being able to sustain that and keep that consistency flowing, even when it isn't noticed. All right, because that's not a play that's going to show up in the stat sheet, but that is a very critical play. And that's another one of those plays that he has a lot of that doesn't always get talked about. But enough of me talking. You let me know your thoughts on Robert Spillane and what you've seen from him in the breakdown and this season. And if you would want him back next season. But either way, I appreciate you for tuning in. And until next time, baby, peace.